It's 3 a.m. Production is down. Your boss is calling. Thousands of users can't access the app. But there's one problem. You didn't actually write the code that's broken. AI did. And that's the moment you realize you've been building your career on quicksand. If you're using AI to write most of your code, you need to hear this. Because what feels like productivity is actually a trap that senior developers see from a mile away. Look, I get it. You just shipped a feature in 15 minutes that would have taken you 2 hours to build yourself. ChatGPT wrote the database queries, Copilot filled in the functions, and everything works. You feel unstoppable. You feel like a 10 times developer. But here's what nobody's telling you. That speed is fake, and it's costing you more than you realize. First, what even is vibe coding? It's when you're building off vibes instead of understanding. You copy code from ChatGPT, it runs, tests pass, you ship it. Green squares on GitHub, dopamine hit, move to the next feature. The problem? You have no idea how it actually works. A developer built a search feature using AI. Beautiful autocomplete. User types, results appear instantly. Shipped it the same day. 2 weeks later, Black Friday hits. The site crashes in 4 minutes. Complete meltdown. Database at 100% CPU. Checkout broken. The company is losing $12,000 per minute. They checked the logs and found that the search feature is the culprit. The AI had generated code that fired a database query on every single keystroke. Someone types running shoes. That's 12 separate queries hammering production. No debounce, no caching, no rate limiting, nothing. With 10 test users, runs perfectly. With 50,000 Black Friday shoppers, instant death. When they asked him why there was no debouncing, he said something honest and terrifying. It worked in testing. I didn't realize this would be a problem. That's vibe coding. He didn't make a bad decision. He never made the decision at all. He saw green check marks and assumed he'd built it right. And this is happening everywhere. Developers shipping React components without understanding use effect. Building APIs without knowing what a race condition is. Implementing caching without understanding TTL strategies or cache invalidation. The code works, so they think they're learning, but they're not. They're just getting really good at prompting AI. Now, vibe coding feels fast because you're measuring the wrong thing. You're counting how quickly you write code, but that's not what actually matters. What matters is time from idea to stable, maintainable, debuggable production code. Here's the real timeline. AI writes your code in 10 minutes. Feels amazing. But then you spend 90 minutes debugging edge cases the AI didn't consider. Another hour refactoring because it doesn't fit your existing architecture. Then 3 hours in production fixing issues you didn't know could happen. Total time? Way slower than if you'd just written it yourself with full understanding. But here's where it gets worse. A senior developer might take an hour to write that same feature, but when a bug appears, they fix it in 5 minutes. Why? Because they built a complete mental model while writing it. They know exactly why every line exists. You, on the other hand, are stuck running trial and error, prompting AI again and again in an attempt to fix everything, because you never built that mental model. There's this quote from Brian Kernighan that destroys the vibe coding argument. Debugging is twice as hard as writing the code in the first place. So if you write code at the limit of your understanding, you can't debug it. Now apply that to vibe coding. If AI writes code beyond your understanding, you definitely can't debug it. And that's the trap. You're practicing prompt engineering, not problem solving. You're training your brain to ask AI first instead of thinking through problems. And 6 months from now, you won't recognize how much your actual skills have atrophied. This brings us to the moment everything falls apart. The 3 a.m. production incident. Users are locked out. Money is being lost. Every second counts. Your manager is panicking, and you're staring at code you don't understand, trying to figure out what's broken. You try asking ChatGPT for help, but the problem is too specific to your system. The error logs don't make sense. You don't know where to even start looking. Meanwhile, the senior dev on your team logs in, reads the stack trace, immediately knows it's a race condition in the payment processing, makes a 2-line fix, and the system is back up in 8 minutes. What's the difference? Mental models, deep understanding, pattern recognition that only comes from actually knowing how systems work. See, AI can give you working code in isolation, but it can't teach you how to debug distributed systems under pressure. It can't give you the intuition that says, this feels like a memory leak, or this smells like a connection pooling issue. Those skills only come from understanding systems deeply, from sitting with hard problems until you crack them, from building things yourself and watching them fail. And every time you reach for AI instead of thinking through a problem, you're skipping that crucial learning. You're building code faster, but becoming a weaker developer. Now, here's the thing. Senior developers absolutely use AI, but they use it strategically. They use it for boilerplate that they already understand. Test setups, config files, repetitive patterns they've written 100 times. They use it for exploration. Show me 3 different approaches to solving this. Then they evaluate with their expertise and pick the right one for their context. But they never use it for the core logic they need to understand. They never use it for critical paths, and they definitely never use it for security-related code. The pattern is simple. Understand Understand the problem first. Design the solution yourself. Then, maybe use AI to speed up implementation, but always review critically and ensure you can explain every line. That's the difference. AI amplifies their existing skills. It doesn't replace their thinking. So here's the uncomfortable truth. You have two paths in front of you. Path 1, keep vibe coding. Ship features fast. Build no real skills. Hit a career ceiling. Watch as AI advances and you become more replaceable, not less. Path 2, use AI as a tool, not a crutch. Build deep understanding. Get slower now to get faster later. Develop skills that make you irreplaceable. Most developers will take path 1. It's easier, more immediate gratification, but you're not most developers. Here's what I want you to do this week. Take one feature you built with AI and rebuild it from scratch. No AI, just documentation and your brain. Force yourself to understand every decision, every trade-off, every line. It'll be slower, it'll be harder, but that's where the real learning happens. Don't be the developer who wakes up in 2 years realizing AI made you obsolete. Be the developer who uses AI to become unstoppable. And if you're wondering why this matters for your career right now, I just broke down why $200,000 developer salaries are vanishing and exactly where that money is going. Just click it and I'll see you there.